All right, hopefully I am back. Yeah. As anyone that has ever had their internet go out, that's essentially what just happened. My internet went out. Have no idea what's going to happen with YouTube. Hey, Trey. But yeah, the stream is back on. Sorry about that. I might have to do some, I don't know, clipping together a couple clips in the end with YouTube, or I'll just have two separate YouTube clips. This is the way YouTube seems to work. How you doing, Trey? Edward, you're back. Yeah, now where were we? We were dealing with the platform console. Which I think, before I had to go and do some router and modem restarts. Okay, that looks like that's not working at all. But if I go out here, it should be working better. Let's take a look. See, it's actually coming from the right side now. Okay, so it's just a bug. Okay, I might want to make it bigger just for this case. I mean, let's take a look. If we have Game Boy, you can see that the Game Boy is kind of skinny. So how do we make it larger? Oh, platform system. We'll just make it larger. There you go. The other thing that I'll want to do is fix. Yeah, I might want to fail. Let's find out. Yeah, so it's starting way too low. So we'll switch that. Get rid of. Oh, turn off the animations. Or did I just turn on the animations? Turn off the animations. Let's go back to the system image. During selection, we'll bring that down to 500. And we'll see if we have something a little better. There you go. A little bit better. Okay, so let's make this a little dynamic. We're gonna mix things up a bit. For each image, we're gonna do a number of animations. For this corner image, what I'd want to have happen is maybe a rotate where it starts off maybe at minus 15 and goes to positive 15. I might make that even larger, to be honest. 20 to 20. And have that take, 3 seconds. And then have that repeat and auto reverse. Okay, maybe too much, but let's bring that down to 10 and 10. And make it take longer. Okay, so I kind of want every single one of these images to do something like that, where it's, but these ones, let's do something different. Let's do like a scale height, let's say. Let's think about what I'd want it to do. sure, current scale to something larger like 110. Have that take 5 seconds. And of course, let's make it repeat and auto reverse so that we should see it kind of get slightly larger and then slightly smaller very slowly. Just give it that little extra polish. And I don't mind that one. Let's just copy that onto this one. That didn't copy at all, did it? No, and paste the animation? No. Copy. Oops, copy. And we'll paste that animation. There we go. There we go. Okay, so we've got some elements just sort of getting bigger and smaller. So other than that, what I'd like to do with all of these elements is say that during selection, I want it to disappear. So let's say from its current location to off-screen right. And then once selected, we will bring it back in. And we'll do it fairly quickly. Let's say in 0.4 seconds. Have it jump right back in. Let's make it take 0.5 seconds. Ease out, maybe with a cubic ease, but don't do it again. Just do it once. All right, so let's see what this guy does. What are you gonna do, Mario? Okay, it's jumping from the side of the screen. Let's see what happens if I change. It's happening so fast, it's not even showing. That's interesting. So let's give it some time. Let's say during selection, we're going off screen right. Once selected, make it start at like 1 second and last very short amount of time. But one thing that I'd want to do, and here's a trick for all you guys, like I want this graphic to not look like it's jumping on top of the magazine. I want it to feel like it's within the magazine. And in order to do that, this is where this canvas layer becomes very important. So I made a canvas right over top of this magazine. You'd want to use this clip to region, which basically means everything inside of this canvas, make it so it thinks that its region is inside of this canvas, and if it tries to go outside of it, we won't see it. So it's clipping it, the graphic, to just the region of the canvas. So the animation should make it look like, yeah, it's coming in like that. It like lives inside of the magazine. And Trey, you bought the software 2 years ago and haven't even set it up yet. Yeah, that's a long time. But I'm sure there'll be something, hopefully, that will get you inspired to use it and to see what it's all about. If there's anything any of us can do to help you, let us know. Okay, so yeah, I don't mind the animation. Let it take 0.7 seconds, and we'll end it with that. And I'm going to grab this same animations, and I will apply it to image number 3, I think. Might need to do it here. And then the once selected one. No, so they both jump in at the same time. Now this image 1, I want it to do something similar, but timing wise, but then maybe I will, let's see what I did. So I got it off screen, and I believe I said at 1 second, take 0.7 seconds to come in. Okay. So once selected at 1 second, let's do up and down. Let's go current location to define, take 0.7 seconds to do that. Now, do that. And then during selection, what we'd want to do is basically say up or down. Yeah, just from its current location, go to the bottom. Do it right away. And Brian Thompson, what are you saying? You want an option for specifically the PSX DuckStation added to the Android version of the LaunchBox. So now it's available in RetroArch for Android. I believe that's on the list if it hasn't been added already. But yeah, for sure. If at all it can be added, it will be. And I did talk a bit about earlier in this stream, but there are certain apps just that don't work if they use a newer framework, or they've been upgraded to Android. Let's call it they've been upgraded to Android 11. If an app has been upgraded to Android 11, there's not really much a front end can do to utilize that application. So as long as that hasn't happened with DuckStation, then we should be able to add it. All right. Or else you run into a situation like Citra. Like, I'd love to have Citra to work, but Citra has been upgraded to Android 11, which basically means we're not able to access our launch games on its behalf. But we can launch the application. And let's see, Trey, get rid of my wife so she quits giving me projects. That's pretty funny. Just try to make it. Can't you make it like this project can be for her? Somehow. Gotta like spin it that way. And Pudicus, you're saying, what program is being used to make this? So this is an amazing program by a guy named Dave. It is called the Community Theme Creator. You can pick it up on our forums, and I'll provide a link to it just in case, but you can go to the download section and you'll see it there. It's I believe became the highest rated application on the website, but here, let's see if I'm actually signed in to send messages here. Okay, there we go. There you go. You can pick it up right there. You can download it, put it in a folder, connect it with your LaunchBox, big box. It connects with your big box exe. Make sure it's there, and then you launch it, and you can follow along. Use any of the live streams or tutorials that I've created over the last few months, and yeah, it's quite the program. Very, very versatile. All right, so getting back to this, we've got elements flying over the screen, and they should come in like this. There you go. Let's go back to the NES. Let's switch over to the Famicom disk system. It's like if a magazine came to life. So, I mean, let's take a look at what I might have to do some editing of the animations, but overall, you know, it's pretty cool. Let's take a look at what the wheel will look like in Big Box. So the only way to do that is I just publish the theme. This will create the files necessary that requires for Launch or Big Box to create the theme and place it in my themes folder. And you can see the notification went by really fast, but basically it's saying, hey, it's ready to go. So let's go in here. And see what we got so far. It's coming. Should probably get rid of the startup video just to save a bit of time. Okay, so let's switch over. Oh. That happened because I have a hotkey that I shouldn't be using that closes Big Box by default. Okay. There we go. And I just converted all the settings back to default for a test I was doing. And forgot about that. So let me do what I normally do. Let's bring this down a bit. Let's go to something that should be okay. And now let's switch it up. Let's switch up to, actually before I close Big Box again, what I normally do, and this is just my preference, is we have a new system menu. So you can see here, X exits, but I don't want it to exit. So I'll click enter, and in 5 seconds it'll be cleared. And I want the view system menu button to be X. And now I'm going to go into find RetroMags, I believe we called it. Okay, there we go. Well, let's see what it looks like. Okay, so got some fixing of the animations when it immediately appears, but that's something easy that I can do. But there you go. So far, so good. You can see it's scrolling left and right. Not too bad. Turbo graphics, here comes. Got to do an animation for the background. Yeah, I can do the animation for the background, so I have it fade out. Oh, and have the items fade in and out. But overall, pretty cool, eh? Looks like a really cool magazine. Definitely stuff I can improve on, but so far so good. I think we're on a good track, and there's a couple things that I saw while viewing that. The first one, let's say, is the platform specific background. We can give it an animation. We just do a simple one where immediately we want the opacity to be there. during selection, I want it to fade out pretty quickly, let's say. And then once selected, I want it to fade in pretty quickly out, something like 0.5. Okay. The logos actually worked out pretty well, the clear logos. The other thing that I'd want to do is maybe take this exact animation and apply it to, let's see, where am I? This stack here. So that this will fade in and out. But I want this to take maybe a little longer to come back. Maybe at 1 second, you know, fade back in. Maybe 1.5 seconds. Therefore, the graphics will come in and then the metadata will appear on top. The other thing that I noticed was this dock here. The visibility condition wasn't working, so I'm just, let's see why. So if maximum controller's value is no value, I think that was the issue. Those can be a little tricky. There we go. Yeah, and now the metadata is appearing fine. But I kind of want this to take a little bit longer to appear so that there's some separation between all of the animations. Let's give it 2.2. Oh, there we go. There we go. Okay, so far so good on the platform view. I think we did pretty good with the way that it looks. Oh, you can see that text does not do well on a white background. We should definitely fix that. We can fix that in a number of different ways, but I think what I will do is give it a drop shadow. It'll be the simplest way to do that. So we'll give it a good drop shadow. Do a 50% drop shadow, and at least should be legible. There it is. Okay, so it's legible now on a black, on a white background. This is perfect for Mario right here. And Vac, how you doing today? Hope you're doing well this Friday. And your question is there a theme creator for regular LaunchBox? Not yet. Not yet. Dave, who created this, has posed some interest in creating one. And that might be why there hasn't really been that many created. And and maybe one day if it is created, we'll see more. In the meantime, I did sit down and learn all about the different ways that you can create LaunchBox themes. So, and I came out of that thinking there's a lot of untapped potential. There's a lot of things that you could do that just haven't been done. You can move elements around anywhere. You can have the game details in different spots and the game lists in different areas, and you can just make it look completely different. And so far, all we really have seen are people that created different styles of our current LaunchBox theme. So there's definitely untapped potential there. And I will, hopefully over time, try to go through a lot of it. I'll try to do a video, one of these videos where I'm just talking about LaunchBox themes, and I will try to cover as much as I can. However, if I did a video of that right now, it'll essentially be XAML code. Like I would have to teach through XAML code since that's the only way to do it. And see, Beats, it is a trippy magazine cover. It's like what happens if your magazine cover came to life. This would happen. Anyway, so I think we covered everything that we wanted to cover on this. Let's jump to the games view. So the games view is really tough because I thought, how could you make it look like a magazine? But I think I know how. Oh, and I missed some comments here tonight. Bobby1 Kenobi, this looks great. Can you download this theme? You will be able to download this theme early next week. I will post it hopefully on Monday. I'll spend the time in the morning-ish to post this theme. But right now we're just building it. We're building it right now live from scratch. And so far, all we have is this platform view. So let's jump over to a games view. In this case, I'm going to build a wall view, take advantage of the new wall themes, or with the wall wheels. Like a Toy Story Nintendo Power Smash Up. That's right. Every kid's dream. And Harry, what are you saying? For me, all right, so we're starting this games view from scratch. So let's see what we can do here. All right, so the first things that we'll want to do is create some background layers. So I'll do some backgrounds. The background's going to be essentially the same. We're going to have a wood background to represent the desk. We'll find it in the same theme folder as before. There we go. We'll have a magazine, but in this case, there'll be a games magazine or an open magazine. Right, so we're now in the game view and we want the magazine to be open. So I do have a graphic that I created for that. It's one of these. There we go. Okay. So base, that's the magazine, base, magazine, game magazine. Okay, that's what I did. So we'll make this full screen. And you can see here what I've done is, so I made it open. And I gave it that really 80s flair. Oh, Harry, you got a quick page turn video. That can't wait. And C-Beats, yeah, did anybody else see that? They did announce the cast, or at least some of the cast of the Mario, I guess it's an animated movie that they're creating. So what was it? Seth Rogen's going to be the Donkey Kong? Which means it's going to be more than just Mario. I'm expecting it to be more like a Nintendo-themed movie centered around Mario. When I heard that they got Donkey Kong in there. But we'll see. I don't know. Does anybody remember all of the different attempts that they've done for like different Mario cartoons? Different Mario, like I would assume we all remember the Super Mario Bros. Movie that was not what you expected as a kid. I still watched it though. I remember watching it as a kid and thinking, yeah, this is a cool movie. But I don't think I thought that like it was Mario. But it was a cool movie and it had like Mario in there. And I also watched all of the Mario cartoons Like Ernesto, did you watch the Super Mario Super Show? That one was great, but then there was also a bunch of other ones that they created. They created one for the Super Mario Super Show was more like Super Mario Bros. 2. Then they created a Super Mario Bros. 3 cartoon. And then they created a Super Mario World cartoon. So there was at least those 3 that I know of. And of course there was the Zelda cartoon, which I watched all the time. Oh, and Brian, you were a movie theater manager, and the projectionist when the Mario Bros. Movie came out. How did it feel when it came out? How were people enjoying it? I guess it didn't do that well, did it? All right. We've got a lot of elements to create here, so let's get going. We've got sort of this left side, the left page. Let's see what we can do. We've got this image here. Let's basically say, how about the clear logo? How about platform clear logo? We'll say you've made it to the platform of Nintendo Wii. That's not very nostalgic, is it? Let's go to let's go to one of the nostalgic systems, Nintendo. Let's go back to where it all began. Check out some Adventure Island 2. Disappointing. It was an abomination, says Harry. Yeah. It wasn't what we all wanted. So who knows? Maybe they'll fix it up. Okay, so we'll go to the bottom. Actually, let's do the middle. How about that? There we go. I also forgot the overlay, so you can kind of see that logo's not looking like it's on the page. So let's do an overlay group. Now again, the groups don't actually do anything. It's just a way for you to organize all of the layers. But do know this is like a Photoshop or something like that, where each layer or each element, the further to the top it is, the more in front of the other elements it is. So hopefully I have something called Game Magazine Overlay. Okay, there we go. There you go. And that will create the shadows and the sheen on all elements below it, so the logo actually looks a bit more like it exists on the page now. That's the power of the overlay. Okay, so a couple things missing that I'd want to do, and I'm gonna have to build these from scratch, I believe. Let me think about how I'm gonna build these from scratch. So the first thing I'll do is create a frame, and I'm gonna give the frame maybe like a try 5, maybe less, we'll see. We'll give the foreground the black color, which will make the border black. Okay, and we're gonna create some like elements that we can use. This is the magazine overlay. Let's lock that up. And we're locking this up because now that the overlay is above all of the other elements, if I wanted to select something below it, every time that I click the screen, it would basically say, oh, well, you're clicking the magazine overlay because that's the element that I'm technically clicking. So if you lock the element up, it disables the element from the editor window so that now I can select the things underneath it. Okay, so we don't want a background. Oh no, we do want a background, but we want it to be white. Okay. And now we're going to size this to some sort of good area, and we're just going to place it underneath. There we go. Probably going to need a second frame. Actually, I'm going to need a number of things, but I'm guessing it's going to be a stack. So a stack with a frame inside. The stack's going to have I think it looks good. Frame, I'm going to have to give it a specific size. The stack, I want it to be sized the same as the frame, I believe. 190, 156. Okay, good. And then the frame, I want it to be sized much less. Okay, that's better. And we're going to give this a black background. Okay. Good so far. So let's get a text layer. And this side, what we're going to try to do is make it so... Actually, I might need an image. Do I have an image of a star? Let's find out. Was I smart enough to pull one over? Oh, there it is. Perfect. Okay, so we're going to have a star, which means I need a dock. The dock's going to be placed in the middle, inside of the frame. This is a star. All right, there we go. I do want that in the middle. And I want the same thing for this text. So this text is going to be the community star rating or your user rating. We want, but let's see if Roboto works condensed maybe. And we want to auto size it to the size of the text. Okay, what else do we want? We want them to not be on top of each other. That's not what a dock does. Okay, it's not acting like a dock, but maybe it's just a bug. So let's... Oh, I see why. So, there we go. And now we want to size this a bit, don't we? Why don't I just size it? So 25. How's that look? Looks like they're not centered to each other, even though they technically are. make it smaller. 22. We'll give it some space, so we'll put a margin on the right side here. All right, so far so good. See, the star's not really centering itself well, is it? There we go. Give it a little push. Much better. All right, so we've got community star ratings. Some serious Saved by the Bell vibes, yeah. And they got it from just the 80s vibes. It's very 80s. That's for sure. Okay, so here's sort of like a cool creative thing that you can do that I don't think I've ever done. So I'm gonna give it a shot. Basically, I want this box to represent some sort of 80s nostalgic review of the game, since this is a magazine. So whatever game it's on is gonna be like, okay, this game is 4.1, that's rated 4.1, and then maybe like a little snippet of what the guy, some gaming expert would have said. Remember those Nintendo magazines? If you read through some of them, they'll have like these game experts, you know, like there's Andy Frickle, he's rated this game like 2.5, and they'll have a little like paragraph of what he likes about the game. So we'll try to do something in this box that sort of simulates that. Let's sort of see what we can do. Maybe I'll make this a bit smaller. I probably don't need it as big as I have it. So let's give it a shot. In order to do that, we'll need to do some creative visibility conditioning, I believe, is what we're going to have to do. All right, so let's get some text here just so that I can format this stuff. I liked Roboto, so I liked the condensed. That was good. Might need to center this guy. It's not gonna work. We're gonna have to center it from here. All right, good to go. Let's make it 30. And of course it's white text, so we're going to need to switch it to black. There it is. All right, let's set a size, something small. What would we say in the 80s? So I'm going to say something like this. There's going to be 3 things that they could say. Something that says, oh, the game's not that good. Something that says that the game's just sort of okay. And then something that says the game is really good. In some sort of 80s like skater boy way would be funny. Rad or like tubular or something. All right, let's go with rad. So I'll say, what a rad experience, or what a tubular experience. This is for like a good rating. And we're going to push this guy down a bit. Let's think about this. I'll do it from the bottom, I think. So let's push this down a bit. Oh. Might have to create another stack. Auto size the stack. So I can have 3 elements inside of it. Forget to center yourself. Okay, 10. There, so I got control over where it's going to position. Rad's got to be all caps, eh? Okay, so what a rad experience. I almost feel like I need a different font, but I'll play with the fonts later, maybe. Maybe I'll just go with the normal Roboto for now, which means bring it down a bit. All right, good to go there. So let's say now we need one for like the middle one. The game's not great. The game's not terrible. It's mediocre. Like, this game is bodacious. Remember when they say psych? Oh, look how I'm gonna need a bit more space here, aren't I? Let's make this larger. 220. Three, 240. Okay, so I need that much space approximately. Do that. Okay. Now, or we go with it's okay, which is a great thing for a reviewer from the 80s to say. And then the really, really bad one. Oh, bad rating? I don't know. It's what a heinous game. Okay, so we've got the 3 here, and you can see all 3 here. So the goal here is to basically say, only make one of these visible at a time. Might need to give this if I'm trying to use this in the way that I want to use it. Hick rocks? Where's that from? Alright, so let's set the visibility conditions on these. So I'm going to make it so that they're all collapsed to begin with, but only make it visible if the community star rating value is equal or greater than, what's a good rating? Like 4, above 3.8. I don't think I've ever heard of Kick Rocks. I'm sure someone has. Let's say 3.8. If the game was rated 3.8 or above, make it a good game. Which means if the game's mediocre, make the visible if the community star rating value is can I say this? No, wait. Let's say is equal or greater than 2.1. Let's say 2. Add a new one. I'll say and the community star rating value is less than, what did I say, 3.7. And then if it's bad, kind of see where we're going here. So collapsed community star ratings value is less than or equal to 1.9. And that should work. The last thing that I'd want to do is add a little thing at the bottom here saying, well, who's rating this? The gaming expert. I actually went and looked up some names and I found Chester, the gaming expert. And we're going to push this over. Can I push this over to the side? I've got to do it within the stack, so it's got to be this one. Well, let's see if it worked. Oh, I forgot to take off the visibility conditioning on that guy. So this one should always be there. So make it visible and remove this. Hey, Jay's Arcade. There you go. Now I just need to center this up a bit. That looks kind of funny. And I'll play around with the fonts and stuff later. But overall, I'm liking it. Push this down a little more. Okay, so we've got this side done. Let's try the other side. We got enough space for like one more here. So I can just copy and paste the entire frame, and that'll give us a good starting point. Oh, come on. There we go. All right, so what we can do here is just give it some more detail about the game. Let's see what we got here. So here we can basically say You can say this is the experts. A bit better. I can clean that up later, but overall, that's all we need it to do. Then this side, we don't need as much of a margin. And yeah, maybe give it some more metadata. We don't need too much. So for example, this one could potentially say something like, and we're going to need some docs for this. Get rid of the conditioning, and we'll just do something simple like copy, and we're going to paste a couple more of these. I'll say, so this is something neutral. We'll say like it's a good play mode. Oops, the play mode number 1. We just want to say the first one. So what is this? It's a good get rid of these guys. Good. Single player experience. And I do believe we'll need some padding or margin on each side of these words. Need to get rid of the margins there. There we go. So I did steal some names from actual game experts in like an 80s or early 90s magazine. So here, let me just get the names here and I'll just write them down. All right, so the first name of, oh, they were called game counselors. So Rodney Walker, I'm using his name. He's a gaming counselor. Well, and this is definitely gonna have to be longer, isn't it? So let's see what I can do there. 150. What does that look like? 155. Give myself a bit of extra room. Okay. So one more. Jeez. Yeah, my internet went out. It was just because of your post. And get lost games, what I'm missing. The border on the NES would look sick if you added the Power Glove sensors on the 3 corners. You still have your glove in a box, and the glove still has the new car smell. Oh, I never had a Power Glove. I had friends that had it. And as a kid, you would go over there. I think by not having it, you sort of got that allure of this new Power Glove, and you never had a chance to realize how bad it was. You just had the chance to like envision how good it could have been as a kid. Okay, so we're putting one up there, we're putting one down here. We will give it a little bit of space in the middle. Which makes the top stack not have to come out as much. Something like that. Okay. I actually have to make this a little wider, I would say. Why not in the... Okay, there we go. 260. Oops. 260, and then this one down here is 250. Okay. All right, yeah, Brian. Robbie the Robot, also something that I never got. And that's something that I would have loved as a kid. So I'm kind of glad that I didn't have the experience of like how bad it was. Actually, as a kid, maybe I would have thought it was really good. And CBs, you never even saw one in person. You just remember the movie growing up when you were a kid. When the kid wins one and thinking they were awesome. Yeah, that's the best experience to have, to like not actually experience that disappointment. That's what you can tell your kids now, right? If they're watching a TV show and they're seeing a commercial for some sort of toy, be like, the best thing I can do for you right now is to never buy you one of those. You'll thank me when you're an adult. What did I do with... Okay, I remember. Okay, so far so good. Let's just fix up this bottom one. What am I going to say here? Maybe like a... Maybe a genre string. So I'll be like, there's no better genre. I don't know if that'll fit, but hey. And then I'll do game. No better genre game. No better platform game. Can I make platform all lowercase? Okay, there you go. And the person that I have here, which game counselor will say that? Andy Frickle. Wow, that was a real name. There was a real guy named Andy Frickle in the 80s that was a gaming counselor for Nintendo Power. Okay, so kind of fits in there, so that's good. So far so good. Let's try to get this wheel in place. I think I'm gonna need something like that. I can adjust this later, but that's where the wheel will go. It's going to be a wall view, and it'll have different options for people to. Now, this is something, since I have to go into the code to do, I did it ahead of time. So this is one of those things where I'll just copy and paste it. Now, in saying that, we do have a number of images from the platform view that we can just use here. So why not just place them around? Now, what we do have is we need to get the metadata of the platform. There it goes, platform. So we'll basically do exactly the same thing that we did over in the game, in the platform view. And we'll say, look inside of platform image 3 to find an image that has the name Nintendo Entertainment System. And then I can just place these in different spots here. Making sure that the alignment is fine. So there's platform image 3. Now that we have that, let's just paste a couple of these. Let's say number 2. And we'll reverse that. And we'll go into the second image folder. And one other one, platform image 1. The opposite here. There we go. Gives it that little flair that this, in fact, is a Nintendo page. Thanks for stopping by, Get Lost Games. All right, so I think we're good with this left-hand side. Let's start the right-hand page. Nope. That's not what I wanted to do. Let's create a new group. We'll call it the right page. All right, so there's a number of things that we're going to have to do here. That might be a little fishy. Let's see. Okay, so the first one is we need to have a background, right? So the way that I was thinking this could work, and I could be wrong, a uniform image where I pull fan art with a fallback, should be a user setting to screenshots. Okay, so you can see sort of the overlay of the magazine. Not quite what I wanted. Okay, so let's do an opacity mask. So I think I have an opacity mask that will make this work properly. What does this look like? Okay, there you go. Okay, so the opacity mask is essentially an image, in this case a 1080p image, that maps out the exact the exact outline, or say solid color, of this magazine's right side, making it all black inside. The rest of the image is transparent, and it'll just fill in the space of the black. Now, to make that make more sense, let's see what the actual image looks like that I used as an opacity mask. Okay, so it's this one right here. So you can see there's an image in there. I basically colored this side of the magazine black. The rest is just transparent. So it'll only fill this background in that spot. And so far it looks okay. Well, if this would change anything. All right, we'll see if that looks okay later. One thing that I would really like to do, though, is it's too bright. So I do want to have an image that will be more like the background, I don't know, overlay. It'll be a black overlay. I want to dim out that side of this image, of this whole image, to give some depth to what's going to be on top of it. So I can just use that same opacity mask image, actually. Oops. This one right there. So it'll be black, and I can just reduce the opacity a little bit. 50%, what does it look like? Okay, that's a bit better. So now everything that I'll put on top of it will look a bit better. In this case, I just need a stack. We'll start with a stack. And that stack will be positioned. This will be its border. I want to put elements somewhere between inside this box. The first thing that I'll want to do is maybe place the box image. Put it in the middle. And we might want to have a drop shadow just to give it some depth as well. So let's actually put this inside of the stack. We'll give it box art front. I am going to need to size this, aren't I? So I would say that the width should be auto-sized. And that would mean that the stack needs to be centered. And the box needs to have some sort of height. Let's give it a maximum height of like and let's see what it would do if it was 500. Let's see what it would do if it was 800. What size are we looking at here? That's not bad. All right, so that's the first image. I have to auto size it and then make it 800 the maximum. That makes more sense. Okay. The second thing I'll want to do is put maybe the title of it. So this will be the game title. For this, I'll probably want to auto size it. Put some margins in this. No, I don't even need margins on the side, do I? Because I've already put it in the stack. Let's get the game title, so at least we can see something. Game. Now we'll place it, that's not going to do anything. We'll place it in the middle. We'll give it some separation. And let's give it a size. And a font. Let's do something fancy. What fancy fonts do we have here? Let me do something like this. We'll definitely want a drop shadow on this as well. Maybe I'll use one of the assists here. So shadow on the bottom right. That'll give us a good starting point. Probably don't even need a blur radius. And we'll make this really close to the actual text. There you go. Nice. Okay. So I also want to make this wrap. So I do want it to wrap with overflow, so that if the title gets too long, they'll take up the space of two lines. Now let's do the last piece of the puzzle here. So we've got some space, and I do want to put like the description and stuff like that there. So let's do that within a frame and make it look very 80s frame style. All right. So I've got a color here that's like this blue. We'll make the outline black. And wait, we gotta have just dump that right here inside of this stack. There you go. So I do want this frame to be a specific size, so we're gonna make it maybe 600. Something like that. That looks good. We do need to put a height to this thing, so we will, because of how text descriptions work. Maybe 350. Does that take up the rest of the space? Takes up too much. 340. 335. Okay, so I think we're good. All right, so now the content's inside of the frame. So we will need another stack. But the stack itself will be all auto-sized to its contents. And now we'll put the contents. So if we wanted to make this sound like an advertisement, I will need a dock. And we'll say something like, so the dock would be auto-sized. And this will say something like coming in. We'll also make this rubato. We'll go all black with this. And we'll have to auto size it so we can see it. There it is. It's very tiny. Let's raise it to about 35. How big is that? That's too big. 22, 23. 22 looks perfect. Okay, so I'll have to do this in a creative way. 15 on either side should be enough. And then 20 from the top. I'll leave it at 15. So the thing about this is that I do want it centered. So I think I can just center this, or I have to center the stack. There it goes. So I'll say coming in. I'll have to make another one here called, or actually another two. Then I will need a release date. So I'll say something like coming in 1990. Oh, this release date's the only one I've got to style again. So I'll style it this way. Rubato. I have to set the auto size. Set the year, and I believe I put 22. All right, so coming in 1991 by, say by, so this is just the word by, and this will be the developer, I guess, or the publisher. I think I'm going to put the publisher in this one. They're the ones that release stuff. So metadata, game, I think it's just under publisher. There you go. So now we just need some margins. I think it's 5. That looks pretty good. So far, so good. All right, so let's try. Let's see what that looks like. So coming in 1991 by Hudson Soft. So that will change. That'll at least be a little dynamic. And the last piece of the puzzle here is a text scroller that we want the same styles as we have there. We'll place it in the stack. But we will need to have an actual width to this, won't we? So 700. I believe I did 600, so let's do 640. Oops. That was weird. 580. Let's see what that looks like. 560. That's not bad. Let's give it some separation. And then we'll need to fill up the rest of the space. There you go. Perfect. So at this point, we don't need the background. We do need the color of the text to be black. Now we'll just say, hey, put the game notes in here. Make it the same size, make it the same font. And then after 6 seconds, I might raise that to 8 seconds. Start scrolling at a speed of like, let's see what 2.5 looks like. So just to make this easier, let's start at 0. Not bad. But yeah, started at 8. There we go. So we've got the description, the year, the publisher, the genre, the play mode, the rating. Like, we're sneaking in all of these things. And Sal Cage, you said, no, I don't know why you said that, but welcome in. Hopefully you're doing better than your message indicates. I think there's one more thing that we can do. Let's add, just so we can do it. Let's see where I would have to put it. Let's put something a little more fun in here. Let's put a cartridge sitting underneath the magazine. Not sure how well, and this cartridge isn't even transparent, but move it over here. Let's place it under my magazine. Game cart. You're right, I could put screenshots there, shouldn't I? And I would have to make either the box art smaller with screenshot. Actually, you know what I'm doing is I'm putting screenshots on this side in this wheel wall. So let me think about that. It could still be useful. Something's going to have to give. Let's finish this off. I always have a problem with the carts because a lot of them aren't the same size. So, and probably won't be doing different size carts. Oh, okay. What do I need to lock now? Maybe that one? Gotta lock something. Oh, this. Yeah, I gotta lock these ones. There we go. Okay, so now I can move it around. I will have to unlock the canvas. Once I do that, I can basically position this just off the screen and give it its own drop shadow as well. Want it to be a smaller shadow. Okay. Okay, but I think for now, this looks pretty good. But just for you, Seabeats, what I'll do is I will add a dock containing, let's see, right here. This dock will be centered and will be auto-sized to the contents of some screenshots. So we'll take this image, we'll paste it in the dock, we'll center the image as well. We'll have a height of maybe 150, an auto-sized width. This will be screenshot 1, 100. And you can see this is what's gonna have to happen here. Let's give it an actual image here. Oh no, I needed that, didn't I? Screenshot 1. Actually, let's give it the title, which I may or may not have. Okay, I do have. And the gameplay. I'll have to put the separator in there. Little bit of drop shadow. Give it consistency. Actually, I might not want to do that at all and do it like really bold. There. Now the box art's going to have to be a little smaller. Let's see how small. 700? 600. 650 it is. There. You happy? We got our screenshots, we got our box art, we got the background, everything looks pretty good. Last piece of the puzzle for this entire theme is going to be this wheel wall view. So what we will do here is I am going to see if I have anything here showing me the wheels. Okay. Couple things I need to do. Let's publish. So we're publishing this off and we're seeing how it's going to look. I'm going to go into the wall view and I'm going to find the piece of code that I had created ahead of time. All right. In the meantime, let's take a look at what that looks like, right? Let's see if this is a functional theme. Oh, there it is. All right, so nice. Mini, the Nintendo Switch, the Nintendo Switch magazine, the Wii U magazine, Sega 32X. All right, so let's take a look. So Sega CD, we're gonna have to cycle through the views. Should just have to cycle it once. I will need to keyboard map a switch view. So I usually do V, switch theme. I usually do T. There we go. Okay, there we go. So you can see that the actual contents is showing up okay, but the wheel kind of looks funky, doesn't it? Let's go into like Nintendo. Wheel's not exactly what we want. So that's what I'm hoping to solve with this code right here. So it's the new wheel view, wheel flow control code right here. So I should be able to take from there to here. And what we're going to do is open up the new theme. Let's open up the new theme here. We're going to jump into the wall games view. Somewhere in here there's a cover flow. Here it is. So here's the wall view cover flow, and we're going to replace this with this. And you guys can look more closely at this when I release the theme. But essentially what it's saying is inside of the new flow control, put a border that's going to be black in color, or the border brush is going to be black, but if the item selected, make it red. Then inside of that, put a screenshot. Now you will have to change your screenshot image priorities to prioritize gameplay images to take full advantage of this theme. And then on top of that, place the clear logo of the game. So let's see what that looks like. I should be able to save that right off and reload the page. There you go. And so this is what it would look like if you did not prioritize the screenshots. You can see that it's sort of displaying two different or the game title screenshot, and it's displaying the clear logo image. So in order to change that, this is what you would have to do. Switch over to LaunchBox. And I will get to your question, Jay, so don't go anywhere. Go into options, go into the image screenshot priorities, and we're going to take this gameplay screenshot and it's going to jump it to the top. This game title, I'm just going to bring it down to the bottom. There you go. So now I can reload Big Box and should look a lot better. So Jay, you're saying, can you briefly explain the new flow controls and what it means for theme creators? So I don't know if you've watched some of the previous live streams. Take a look. There you go. Okay, I have to get rid of the image cache. Okay, so I do see, hey, some fun. Overall, looking great. And so C Beats are saying short answer means that each wheel item can be anything you want. There you go. Anything you want. So essentially what it means is that each one, we have control over what's inside of each item. That's what it basically means. So you can see here that I've placed a clear logo on top of a screenshot. So you can have multiple items inside of your game item within the wheel. You can also see in this that I placed the title of the game. So you can see that every single one of these items has a title. Now you can see I've got Bomberman 64. Next to it is another version of Bomberman 64's second attack. Then Bomberman Heroes, it's listing it out within the actual element itself, in the wheel itself. So that's all that the new flow control will do within. You have that control, so you can basically think of it like a little mini canvas for each item within your wheel, for each game within your wheel. You can think of it like that. And so for me, I decided, why not create like a border, like a frame, make it black, and then inside of that frame, put the screenshot in there. And then over top the screenshot, put the logo, the clear logo. And then below all of that, place the item name. So I just basically tell it that once within this flow context. So I've got this grid here, and I separate the grid into 2 rows. The top row, I put all of the frame with the border here, with the data trigger to make it turn red for the selected item. And then below it is, and then I put the screenshot inside of it, put the clear logos inside of that, and then below all of that, there's this title of the game. And then Jay, you're saying the new marquee's priorities are working great. That's good to hear. You'll probably need to get a hands-on understanding of the new control. So all the new stuff within the marquee that you can do. And that's something I will do in one of these streams coming up next week or the week after, I think. But overall, yeah, why isn't that centered? That's a little odd, isn't it? It's the screenshots. I added that screenshot for you, and then it made that not centered for some reason. That's a little odd, considering it's all in the same. I must have misaligned. Yeah, that's so weird. Let's see what I can do. It is right here. Everything's inside of the frame. Everything inside of the stack centered. And there you go. That's why. Fixed. Crisis averted. But for now, yeah, this is looking pretty sweet. I do like the look. I might make the boxes bigger. I might do some more animation to this page, something like that. But overall, it looks pretty nice. I like the way that it turned out. So hopefully you guys do as well. And you can definitely play around with all of this stuff next week when I post this retro what did I call it? RetroMags theme. And yeah, I'm glad to be back. I know I was gone for a couple weeks, but next week we'll do this all again. We'll have some fun next Friday. So have a great weekend, everybody. Stay safe. Hopefully play some games, and we'll see you next week. All right, take care, everybody.